welcome back. I finally filmed another tutorial and it's on this silver eyeshadow with like this dark red lip. And two notes, I'm losing my voice, so I sound a little raspy. Second thing is, when I first made that TikTok, I accidentally applied way too much silver pigment because I used my finger. I applied it with a brush this time, so before anyone says that the look looks a little different, yes, it does look a little different. I just feel like it's more wearable this way since I was able to control the silver pigment application. I feel like this is so perfect for a Weeknd concert or any concert. Thank you for coming back. Starting with the Glow Recipe Pore Tighten Toner. So I'm just gonna put this on a cotton pad. It's such a good first layer, especially if you have dry skin. Going in with the Niacinamide Hue Drops. Always start with the lip plumper before I start my makeup. So by the time you're ready to line them, they're just like very full. I need a really thick moisturizer and I really love the Merit one. And I do like a pumper too. So I'll just use my fingers and kind of start like lifting and massaging. It makes a difference before I do my makeup. If you have not tried this duo, my base has never looked better. I like to put this in my T-zone and under my eyes right here because I crease right there. My smile line. Okay, next we're gonna go in with the Easy Blur foundation. You're supposed to give this a little shake. For me, this is high coverage, so I don't really need to use too much. Let me try to make this aesthetic. I don't know how girls make these like really cute aesthetic getting ready with me videos. Yeah, that's like as pretty as it's gonna get for me. I'll like smear it with my finger before going in with a brush just so I can get into like all these nooks and crannies that I feel like a brush can't reach. If you watched my old videos, this is a new foundation brush. I'm using Hourglass. I just really love their brushes. They're so high quality. The bristles are super dense. I like how the surface area is smaller. You can get a lot more of a targeted application. Just lightly going into the edges because I'm going to come in here with contour products anyway. I did leave right underneath my eyes blank because we're going to go in there with concealer. I'm just going to use very little because this is a very matte and full coverage in my opinion. Hourglass concealer brush to blend this out. I love the surface area and the density of the bristles. Let's just blend this. I also sometimes like go in here to help with my smile lines to brighten them up. I just got this, the Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. Oh my god, I love it. And I'm using a Merit Beauty blending. I don't know which one this is. Again, small surface area and very, very dense bristles. Pick up a little bit and lightly pressing this in. Just like to go over the bridge of my nose. I go back to my foundation brush, press over the edges of the contour. Put a little bit of foundation on your ears and down your neck. This is new. This is actually the very first product I've ever tried from Haus Labs. It's something about this formula that I'm really intrigued by. This is Glassy Pitaya. Let me just apply a little bit. I kind of almost want to eat it. I'm using an Hourglass powder brush. I love blush on my nose and I'll go in over this with my foundation brush over the edges. I usually never talk this much in real life, so I'm gonna have a sip of water. Refreshing. Moving on to the eyes, I'm gonna apply a little bit of concealer on my eyelids to prep and prime this, blend this in. I also like starting with like a very flat white base. I saw this in store and I was like, what is that? And I literally lost my mind. And I'm gonna use a flat brush like this one to pick up the product and be civilized with it because last time I was not civilized. I put it on my finger and I was like, put it on the back of my hand. To blend out these creases. I'm gonna stop right there so I can put eyeshadow there. This is just gonna be so pretty for the Weeknd concert. I'm just gonna use my finger and like blend out the edges. I'm adding a little bit more, just right here, just a little bit more perhaps. This is the Makeup by Mario mattes, the neutrals. This is one of my favorite palettes. I also love how compact this is. I'm using a smallish, dense, fluffy brush. This is a Morphe S401, and I'm gonna reach for this gray color. I actually did not add this color for the last time I did this, so if it looks a little different, please do not come for me. Let me pick some pigment up, tap off the excess without being obnoxious. I lightly put this in my outer crease area, like here-ish. I reach for an even tinier, dense brush. I have no idea. I want to say it says S300, but I'm not confident. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the black. Really make sure to tap off this excess because I don't want to put too much on. I really just want this in the very outer corner to really snatch the eyes and give it like a little cat eye. It's very, very subtle, but like, you see the difference? My key is to just use a very light hand, as little pigment as possible. Stay in the area that you're supposed to be in. It's also really important to have the right brushes. I'm gonna take this fluffy blending brush and go over this very lightly just to blend these together. Now I have to do eyeliner, and that is my like #1 enemy. Getting a flat angled brush like this. I'm gonna pick up some black eyeshadow. I don't really worry too much about what goes on underneath there because I'll clean it up with concealer. Yeah, I want it to just be like kind of smoky. I'm gonna take the same brush that I used to apply the black eyeshadow and buff this out because I don't like it too crispy. And then I'm gonna go in with whatever's left over on my concealer brush and just kind of like start cleaning up underneath the wing. I have to fix this because this eye is thicker than that one now. Now I want to bake and set my face, so I'm going to go in with Charlotte Tilbury. It will like set better when I put setting spray on it. You should cover your eyes, but I'm lazy and I don't really feel like doing that. I have a fan and I'm going to fan this. I used Huda Beauty Ube Cake, so we're going to do that. Does anybody know how you're supposed to get the product out of here? Because I've just been like shaking it. Make sure creases are blended out before applying. Pressing this in. I like to go along the side of my nose. Back to the Hourglass powder brush. I'm going to use the fluffier side to just press in the powder. I used to dust it off, but I like it better when I like press it in. I didn't powder like anywhere else on my face, so I'm going to go over with whatever's left over on my bronzer brush. Just slightly tap over those areas. I'm using YSL All Hours. I'm just going to swirl it on the back of my hand because I don't want too much product on those areas since I didn't really set it. And tap this in. And then I like to lightly go over my nose with this. This is the Patrick Ta blush brush. It's Haus Slaps Hibiscus Haze. Swirl this on the back of my hand too. Such a pretty little pink. For mascara, I use Charlotte Tilbury Exagger Eyes. Just a few coats. I know a lot of people are afraid of lashes. Use a little half lash on the very end. It can look very natural. Moving on to bottom eyeshadow. I'm using that same little like teeny tiny dense fluffy brush. Pick up this black eyeshadow again. And very, very lightly, I'm gonna look up while I do this. Apply this on the bottom waterline to connect it with the top eyeliner. I'm applying with the very, very tip and edge of the brush too. I decided that I kind of want to make my wing darker. Kind of lightly stamp over the wing with the black. Using whatever's left over and lightly tapping this into my very outer crease. Add black eyeliner to the top waterline. Doing this step also helps the lashes look more blended. Mascara on my bottom lashes now. I don't like this area to be shiny, so I'm going to take whatever's left over on my powder brush and lightly tap this in right here. This is by Half Magic. That's like a nice little touch, especially when you're in the dark. All this glittery, sparkly stuff is gonna look so good. MAC Chestnut, overline the living life out of my lips. I'll like do that much and then go in with the red so that it's like not too dark. I used MAC Chili. You can use a brush or your fingers and just blend it out. And then I go back to the lip pencil and I'll have to retrace the edges. I'll just blend this out with my fingers. Clean up my lips. I'm using e.l.f. Opology Tour. Very pretty blue in the center. This is the finished look.